This was the scene from Parliament Hill this morning after a gunman opened fire at the National War Memorial, killing a Canadian soldier. He then moved to nearby Parliament Hill, where he was reportedly shot by the Sergeant-at-Arms after wounding a security guard. The Hill remains under lockdown amid reports there may be 2 or 3 shooters, one of which has been killed. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. We begin today with the shootings in Ottawa this morning. Jordan Canagan has been following this story and joins me now in studio. Jordan, what's the latest? For one local man, the scene that unfolded before him last Saturday night is one he will never forget. Jorge Morales was driving on Highway 3 when he witnessed a fatal crash that killed a 5-year-old boy and a 33-year-old man. The crash happened just east of Taber. Morales was heading back to Medicine Hat when he heard a loud crash. He says he saw a truck rear-end a vehicle that was trying to make a left-hand turn. Morales immediately got out of his car to help and describes the scene. A volleyball player with the Medicine Hat College Rattlers is facing some serious allegations tonight. Matthew Allen Meyer was charged with sexual assault and sharing intimate images of another person without their consent. Police responded to the college on January the 17th. Charges were laid shortly after. The college has since met with some of the students involved to offer counseling and support services. Director of College Advancement Mark Keller says the school is also reaching out to police for help in educating students on issues like the sharing of intimate images. With the price of oil continuing its slump, the government is looking to increase revenue through targeted tax increases. While there will not be a provincial sales tax, the government is moving ahead with a progressive income tax structure, as well as increasing taxes on alcohol and tobacco. Now, starting tonight, taxes on a carton of cigarettes will increase from $45 to $50. Alcohol will be increased by 5% over and above what the Conservatives added this spring. And premiums for life, car, and home insurance will also increase by 1%. All told, the government is looking to increase revenue by $293 million. Now, there is some good news for families in this budget. The government is introducing the Alberta Child Benefit, which will provide up to $2,750 to families earning $41,000 per year or less. The government will also enhance the Alberta Family Employment Tax Credit. The two programs combined are worth up to $4,740 per family per year. Now, as far as flood mitigation funding goes, the government has earmarked over $550 million in the next 2 years alone. So we asked finance officials, with communities upstream guaranteed funding, will Medicine Hat be assured of specific funding in this year's budget? The short answer was no, but we were told to stay tuned for future funding announcements. Silvana? And finally this week, a young boy lost his battle with cancer earlier this month. But before he passed away, Dominic Rooney inspired an entire city. During his short life, 2-year-old Dominic touched the lives of everyone he met, and his trademark thumbs up will not soon be forgotten. With more on his life and how his parents are struggling to cope with their loss, here's Matt Nemeth. The worst possible outcome has become a heartbreaking reality for a Calgary family. Police announcing any hope in finding 5-year-old Nathan O'Brien and his grandparents alive is gone. The Amber Alert is over, and investigators say the search for the 3 is now a recovery mission, believing the trio has been murdered. Nancy Hicks has the latest from Calgary. Welcome back. Before we get to the AccuWeather forecast, we do have some breaking news. If you're headed to the west coast, especially through Merritt, there has been a bad bus accident, a tour bus accident. All 56 people on board have been injured, 6 of them critically. As you can imagine, there are fire crews, rescue crews all around. As he said, it is south of Merritt on Highway 5, otherwise known as the Coquihalla. It is closed, and there is no word as to when it will be reopened. So if you're about to start your weekend vacation and it involves travel plans to BC, you may want to take another route. All right. Well, let's take a look at the daily almanac. You see the normal temperatures. 10 degrees is the new normal. -3 is the new low. Sun rose this morning at 7:59, and it is expected to set at 6:15. Record snowfall coming on this day in 1969, 13 centimeters. We got up to 15 degrees, so 9 away from what it was not so long ago, 7 years, 24.7 degrees. And right now it is 12 degrees in Medicine Hat. Winds out of the west at 13 kilometers per hour. We did see some gusts over the noon hour of up to 63, and it will get windy again later tonight.
Now what? Where do we go now? What do we do now?
The block is going to be a whole new
group of people. We are going to get through this together.
Confusion and hope just days after the flood devastated the homes of Candy Newman and Marianne Kozlowski. For Marianne, the flood came at an already extremely difficult time in her life. She was still recovering from surgery and dealing with the loss of her husband, who had passed away in April.
We never really had time to warn or anything because this took over. And after that, it was day-to-day existence, trying to keep your wits about you, trying to hold on to whatever was there.
A few doors down, neighbor Candy Newman was also dealing with the aftermath of the flood. A sewer backup had left 6.5 feet of water in her basement, damage the Newman's insurance company initially refused to cover. While some of the damage could be repaired, nothing could be done to replace some of the precious family memories.
My sister came and helped me one night, and I suddenly realized there was all these family photos that I was entrusted with. And I looked at her and I said, "They're gone." And she says, "It's okay."
The damage to Candy and Marianne's homes forced them to live with family members for the next few months. Back at home, the community came together to begin repairing their lives while at the same time supporting each other. Residents are rebuilding Harlow one brick at a time, one day at a time. They've attended flood meetings together, held picnics by the river, and have defined the true meaning of the word community. And as Marianne rightly predicted last year, they have in fact become a whole new neighborhood.
We feel better, but we do stick together, and we did get through it.
Since then, I have one foot in front of the other, and it was my husband who kept saying, "Candy, one more box, one more box. This will make this house livable again."
1 year later, the healing continues. Marianne's basement is finished, work on Candy's continues, while the insurance company decided to cover the damage after all. Out of the darkness of last year, both women say they've emerged stronger than they were before.
I am a different person today than I was last year at this time. For good or for bad. I try to find the good things in every day.
My family keeps saying, "Mom, we can't get over how strong you are, how strong you were doing it again." But you know what? We have to think about someone who's looking after us. Someone up there is looking after us, and hopefully that 2014 will be a much better year.
Michael Popove, Chat News.